hour on VTV News. 55th anniversary of the implementation of President Ho Chi Minh Testament. Green development increases export opportunities to Europe. And in our war news, PAETONGTARN SHINAWATRA elected youngest Thai Prime Minister.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. On Saturday morning, the Ho Chi Minh City Party Committee and the Central Public Security Party Committee celebrated the 55th anniversary of implementing President Ho Chi Minh Testament. The City Public Security also received the title of Hero of the People's Armed Forces. General Secretary and State President Do Lam attended the event. At the ceremony, delegates observed a minute of silence, remembering the late General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. He had always trusted and hoped that every officers and soldiers of the People Public Security would remain dedicated to serving the country and its people. The Secretary and State President requested the Ho Chi Minh City Party Committee and the Central Public Security Party Committee to continue leading by example in party building and rectification. He also called for removing institutional obstacles, fostering development, and creating favorable conditions for all legal activities. These efforts aim to contribute to national constructions and improve the lives of people, organizations, businesses, and entrepreneurs both at home and abroad. On behalf of the party and state leaders, General Secretary and President Do Lam commended the outstanding achievements of the Ho Chi Minh City Police and awarded them the title of Hero of the People's Armed Forces. On Saturday morning, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired two important conferences, one with Hanoi City on socio-economic development tasks and another for the Red River Delta Coordination Council. The Prime Minister praised the efforts of the Capital Party Committee, government, army, and people over the past 7 months, highlighting 10 bright spots and outstanding results. He emphasized that developing a cultured, civilized, and modern capital is a vital political task in the strategies of building and defending the nation. For the near future, the Prime Minister outlined 5 key tasks and 10 specific objectives for Hanoi. Subsequently, while leading the Red River Delta Coordination Council's conference, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính proposed that the region concentrate on 5 pioneers. Vietnam's export turnover to European countries last year exceeded $53 billion. Although this isn't particularly high, Europe remained a crucial market for Vietnamese products such as wood, coffee, and steel. Businesses are working hard to comply with and adapt to new regulations from the European Union, such as the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanisms and the EU deforestation regulations, to increase export opportunities to this market.
This company has developed safe, eco-friendly cleaning products using pineapple peels and is exporting them to the US, Malaysia, Canada, and Germany. The business is particularly focused on complying with the EU's Anti-Deforestation Regulation, or EUDR. This requires that the pineapples used in production be sourced from agricultural land and do not contribute to deforestation.
The company already has the DK certification in Germany, but with a green certification, it would be easier for us to promote products in foreign markets. It proves the company's commitment to environmental responsibility.
CBAM, or the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, is a new EU measure to reduce CO2 emissions. Products like steel, cement, and fertilizers exported to the EU must comply with low emission standards or face a carbon tax. This has prompted Vietnamese businesses to innovate and adopt greener production methods to meet requirements.
For example, complying with CBAM could generate about 2.5 billion US dollars in export turnover to the European market. This may seem small, but if these EU regulations are implemented comprehensively, they could potentially reduce Vietnam's exports to Europe.
According to a representative of the EU delegation to Vietnam, although these regulations have been disseminated, many businesses remain unclear about the specific requirements and compliance criteria. To address this issue, several business support programs will be held.
EU is providing a budget of 3 to 3.5 million euros for Southeast Asian countries to implement this project. There have also been dialogues and trainings held for Vietnam.
The Trade Promotion Agency will continually organize training programs to help Vietnamese businesses across various sectors enhance their capacity for green export development.
The Central Highland boasts over 5 million hectares of agricultural land, accounting for more than 91% of its natural area. Farmers in these regions are shifting away from traditional practices, gradually embracing digital transformation in agriculture. This shift aligned with the Industry 4.0 trend, promoting rapid, modern, and sustainable development in Vietnam's agricultural sector.
In the past, this man relied completely on previous experience to care for his durian trees. Now he simply opens a mobile app to access information collected from the sensors installed in his garden, which helps him adjust his care methods accordingly. The drop rate of his durians have been low, despite the recent heat waves and heavy rains in the Central Highlands.
This technology makes things easier for farmers. It allows us to know what nutrients the soil needs, what kind of fertilizer to use, and whether the water is sufficient.
The app helps measure the soil's nutritional status immediately. Data is updated on the farmer's mobile app, including 7 key parameters: N, P, K, pH, moisture, temperature, and electrical conductivity.
This specialty rice field belongs to Easu Poverty Reduction Cooperative in Ia Tamut Commune, Easu Border District, one of the most challenging areas in terms of terrain and climate in Dak Lak Province. In the past, locals grew rice only for subsistence. However, over the last 3 years, rice produced by cooperative members has reached markets across the country. This is thanks to their bold application of digital transformation in production and product consumption.
Once the product is created, the production department will provide information to the commercial departments so they can update details about the batch. Consumers can visit stores or supermarkets and scan the QR code to access the product information.
Digital transformation will modernize agriculture, helping the industry adapt to climate change, increase product competitiveness, and reduce production costs. Central Highlands provinces are focusing on applying smart technology in agriculture.
The domestic stock market experienced a remarkable upturn, with the VN Index surging nearly 29 points to close at 1,252.23 points. This positive market reaction was fueled by the strong earnings and attractive valuations of many listed companies. More on the second quarter financial results of enterprises in the following story.
27 out of 30 enterprises in the VN30 basket recorded net profit growth, indicating a strong recovery among leading businesses in line with overall economic growth. Notably, the consumer goods and retail sector, a barometer for consumer spending, has demonstrated an impressive rebound. The dairy giant achieved unprecedented revenue in the second quarter, driven by a 37% year-on-year increase in exports.
The retail industry benefits significantly due to the country's large population. As a developing nation, Vietnam is witnessing a rapid increase in urbanization and the growth of its middle class.
The retail sector has shown robust growth, building on a low base, while the banking sector has maintained its profitability. Given their current positive results, these sectors are projected to have a promising outlook for the third and fourth quarters.
Turning to the bleak side of the market, the oil and gas and real estate sectors have fallen short of expectations, with profit declines of 34% and 15% respectively, compared to the same period last year. Experts explain the reason for the underwhelming financial performance of listed real estate companies despite recent high real estate prices.
While there's a lot of hype around land plots and apartments, not many businesses have seen a significant increase in sales, except for VinHomes. It's important to distinguish between the overall real estate market and the real estate market reflected on the stock exchange.
The real estate sector's profit decline has eased, showing a 15% drop in the second quarter compared to 29% in this year's first quarter, and a 36% decline in last year's second quarter. This gradual reduction in losses indicates a quarter-by-quarter improvement in the real estate sector.
Coming up next on VTV News, public transportation vital to alleviating urban congestion. And Phie highlighted during Lan Festival. Cà Mau Province is currently preparing activities to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Northwest Gathering event. The construction of the monument complex, designed in the shape of a ship, is being urgently completed with relief and statue clusters. The ship, 25 meters long, 10.5 meters high, and 8.5 meters wide, is currently in the final stages of decoration. Regarding the construction of the monument area and event floor, piling work has been completed and the floor surface is nearing completion. According to the Management Board of Cà Mau Province Traffic Construction Project, the project is nearly 70% complete and on track for completion by the end of October. This project is a crucial part of the celebrating the 70th anniversary of the North Gathering event scheduled for November. Its aim is to deepen awareness among the party, government, and people about the historical, culture, and revolutionary traditions of both the nation and Cà Mau Province. The Identity Law of 2023 officially went into effect on July 1, 2024, allowing citizens under 14 to receive ID cards for the first time upon request. In remote mountainous areas with challenging terrain, issuing ID cards for children poses many difficulties. However, local officials are working tirelessly to assist in issuing ID cards to these young citizens. A story from Phie commune in Nậm Pồ district in the Điện Biên province, where over 95% of the population belong to ethnic groups.
At 6 p.m., Giang Azi, an ethnic Hmong person, takes his 2 children to the Commune People's Committee to apply for ID cards. The police will assist him in registering online through the public service portal. His children will then be guided through fingerprinting, photographing, and iris scanning.
Even though it's raining, I'm trying to get my children's ID cards. The officials provide specific guidance. The process for the ID card is simple and well organized.
Similarly, Giang Thị Ca is waiting her turn to complete ID card applications for her 2 children. Like most people in the commune, she has been informed about the ID card's benefits.
Previously, I had to carry around various documents. Now the ID card integrates birth certificates and insurance cards. It's more convenient and compact.
We have completed the ID card issuance for all those under 6 years old. For the 6 to 14 age group, we are currently processing about 180 citizens daily. The working group operates from 6 a.m. until all citizens for the day are served, usually until around 10 or 10:30 p.m.
Phie commune has 8 villages with over 1,600 children aged under 14. Due to the mountainous terrain and residents' frequent commute, commune officials and border troops have implemented various outreach methods.
We have established 3 teams to handle outreach and education for villagers. Once parents understand the policies related to health checks and schooling, they are more willing to participate.
As part of the 90 days and nights of rapid ID issuance campaign, Chi Minh aims to issue ID cards to all children under 14 by September the 30th. The ID card saves time and effort for parents and children while enhancing the efficiency of the National Population Database, Identity Database, and electronic identification accounts.
Digital report cards will replace paper ones starting next school year. This change is part of the education and training sector's effort to implement the National Digital Transformation Program. Schools nationwide have begun piloting this at the primary level and will extend it to secondary school this year. In large schools, paper report cards can amount to thousands of copies, putting immense pressure on record keeping. Moreover, the confidentiality and transparencies of information in paper report cards can be compromised. Secondary schools are now preparing for this transition to digital report cards. While the benefits are clear, implementing digital report cards across all education levels presents some challenges. Many parents haven't yet obtained identification codes for their children from the population database. Teachers face difficulties in issuing digital signatures. Additionally, there are costs associated with digital signatures and infrastructure. A ceremony was held in Hướng Lập Commune, Hướng Hóa District, Quảng Trị Province to inaugurate 56 new houses for residents in Quoy and Tri villages who lost their homes to a landslide in 2020. Over the past few years, Sunhai Group has invested about $1.6 million to build 56 houses on an area of over 14 hectares. The homes feature skilled house architecture respecting local customs and traditions. Each house has a floor area of 54 square meters and is equipped with lighting systems, internet access, a bathroom, and a kitchen beneath the main floor. The group has also constructed 2 standard classrooms for primary and preschool levels, accommodations for teachers, and a community hall. Hanoi currently has around 8 million vehicles of various types, excluding the additional 1 million vehicles that regularly enter and exit the city. Faced with the traffic congestions and pollution from this overload of private vehicles, the city is focusing on developing public transportation as a key solution. Promising signs have emerged with both passengers numbers and type of public transport seeing significant growth and innovation each year.
At Cat Lin Station, the morning rush hour marks the busiest time of the day. A train arrives every 10 minutes, and this urban railway line transports tens of thousands of passengers daily. For Huyen, who has been using the train for a year, late arrivals to work are now a thing of the past.
Usually, I'd have to spend a hefty sum on fuel and maintenance if I traveled to work on a motorbike, but now I only pay for train tickets. It saved me a fortune on travel expenses, about a third of what I used to spend.
It usually takes 40 to 45 minutes for me to travel to Vân Quan Station, but with this metro line, it only takes 10.
Compact bicycles are a common sight on trains, and many commuters opt to transfer to buses to complete their journeys. This gradual shift in commuting habits has helped Hanoi's public transportation system attract over 500,000 passengers in the past year.
A single bus can replace 10 cars or dozens of motorbikes, while a train can carry up to 1,000 people per trip. Thanks to public transportation, a large number of people from suburban and nearby provinces can commute to the city center without increasing the number of private vehicles. After work, they return home, which alleviates the pressure on housing and urban infrastructure in the city center.
Currently, Hanoi has 2 urban metro lines in operation, along with a bus network that connects all districts and towns in the area, meeting about 15% of the city's travel demand.
Hanoi is now focusing significant resources on accelerating the construction of additional urban railway lines, which will serve as the backbone of the public transportation system, supported by other modes of transport. The city aims to achieve a higher rate of public transportation use, which will be crucial in solving the problems of congestion and environmental pollution while fostering a more modern and civilized traffic culture.
Hanoi aims to have 14 urban metro lines by 2035. This is seen as a solution to reduce overpopulation and traffic pressure in the city center, while tapping new development opportunities for the capital.
On Friday night, the opening ceremony of the Vietnam Career Festival in Da Nang City 2024 took place, featuring many unique cultural and artistic activities. This year's festival, spanning 3 days, is an important and meaningful cultural and diplomatic event, marking the 32nd anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and South Korea. The highlight of this year's festival is a workshop sharing experiences in developing Korea's strong economic sectors, such as high technologies and high-tech agriculture. The festival also offers an experiential space for wearing hanbok and Vietnamese outside, Taekwondo martial art performances, displays of Korean traditional musical instruments and art, Vietnam-Korea cultural exchange programs, and a Vietnamese-Korean food-making contest. More than 60 agencies, organizations, and businesses are participating with exhibition booths showcasing typical products from both Vietnam and South Korea. According to folk belief, July 15, or the full moon day of the 7th lunar month, is the day of forgiveness for lost souls and the main festival day during the Vu Lan season. Vu Lan, important Buddhist holiday, has become an annual festival honoring parents and ancestors. It serves as a reminder to cherish what we have, remember our parents' nurturing love, and express gratitude through acts of filial piety.
Diệu Hua's four-generation family visits the temple every Vu Lan season, a tradition they've maintained for years. She and her children listen to Buddhist teachings about the significance of the full moon festival of the 7th month. Vu Lan is a season of filial piety, a time to express gratitude to parents, grandparents, and ancestors. It's also an occasion to honor the teachers and predecessors who have shaped the country.
As children, no matter where we go, we still hold our parents in our hearts. Some mistakenly believe that Vu Lan is only observed in lunar July because, in the Buddhist spirit, filial piety should be a constant duty for every child.
Turning 90 this year, Diệu Hương still attended the Vu Lan ceremony at the temple, despite her walking difficulties. She strives to perform good deeds during this time to honor her ancestors. Like many others here, she becomes emotional when hearing teachings about filial duty. As she pinned a white flower on her shirt, Diệu Hương was deeply moved, remembering and paying tribute to her departed parents.
I was moved to tears while listening to the Venerable's speech. I kept reminiscing about the time my parents were alive.
Families visiting the pagoda are often filled with love and are sympathetic and respectful to one another. It shows a high degree of filial piety.
To honor parents' love and show gratitude to ancestors, many families hold solemn ceremonies at home, following a Vietnamese tradition. This practice also serves to teach and nurture filial piety in younger generations.
Coming up next in our world news, PAETONGTARN SHINAWATRA elected youngest Thai Prime Minister. And UN chief calls for banning nuclear testing for good. The leader of the ruling Pheu Thai party, PAETONGTARN SHINAWATRA, was elected as the 31st Prime Minister of Thailand. Thailand's Prime Minister-elect PAETONGTARN SHINAWATRA pledged on Friday to dedicate herself to the nation, vowing that the ruling coalition led by the Pheu Thai party will steer the country toward success. Analysts and Thai citizens alike are hoping that the new government will revive the country's economy with its policy making.
At 37 years old, PAETONGTARN SHINAWATRA has become Thailand's youngest ever prime minister and the youngest country leader in Asia. PAETONGTARN is the youngest daughter of former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, whose younger sister Yingluck Shinawatra was also Prime Minister from 2011 to 2014. Despite being relatively new to politics, she was highly trusted by the ruling coalition to assume the post.
I hope that I can do my best to, make the country go forward. That's what I try to do.
Many Thais expect the new prime minister to continue her predecessor's policies aimed at revitalizing the nation's economy.
I hope the government will maintain the digital wallet policy. This policy will stimulate the economy and support people like us.
Experts, however, emphasize that restoring waning support for the Pheu Thai party and addressing economic challenges will require swift action from Prime Minister PAETONGTARN.
New economic recovery policies needs to be reinstalled and reinstated immediately, and to gain confidence from the foreign investment and from the domestic public.
Despite winning nearly two-thirds of the vote from the House of Representatives, PAETONGTARN still awaits approval from the Thai royal family before she can officially assume office.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday called for banning nuclear testing for good in an observance message for the International Day Against Nuclear Tests on August 29th. In the message, Guterres said that over nearly 8 decades, more than 2,000 nuclear tests were conducted at more than 60 sites around the world, leaving a legacy of destruction, rendering lands uninhabitable and creating long-term health problems for people. The UN chief warned that recent calls for the resumption of nuclear testing demonstrate that the terrible lessons of the past are being forgotten or ignored. He also called for the worldwide ratifications of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. The European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control (ECDC) on Friday raised its risk level for monkeypox or mpox from low to moderate. The ECDC has said that it is highly likely that the EU-EEA will see more imported cases of mpox due to frequent and close travel linked between EU and Africa. However, the likelihood of their sustained transmissions in Europe is very low, provided that imported cases are diagnosed quickly and control measures are implemented. Earlier, global health officials confirmed an infection with a new strain of the mpox virus in Sweden and linked it to a growing outbreak in Africa. The World Health Organization had declared mpox a global public health emergency, its highest form of alert. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.